Joining me now from Weston, Connecticut, tonight's market master, Euro-Pacific CEO, Chief Global Strategist, Peter Schiff, author of the book, How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes. Peter, let's talk first about what is happening right now in Europe. How dire the prospect for Europe, in your judgment? You just heard Mort Zuckerman. He's deeply concerned.
Well, look, the problems are severe, and there are no easy solutions. What I'm hoping is that the Europeans will at least do what's right and not give in to the pressure, some of it coming from the United States, to simply try to paper over this by creating more inflation. I think what Europe needs to do is take the opportunity to force fiscal discipline on its member nations, and if some members don't want that discipline, then they should leave the Eurozone for the good of the other members. I think the Euro would be stronger if it had fewer countries, but at least the countries that were there had some more fiscal discipline. So if countries like Greece don't want to get their financial house in order, then I think it's better for everybody if they leave the Eurozone, although it might not be better for the Greeks.
Perhaps not for the Greeks. What about the Italians? What about the Spanish? In fact, what about most of Europe, the 17 nations of the Eurozone? Right now, the euro is on the verge, in the minds of many, of outright collapse. What is the likely prospect?
Well, I don't think that prospect is likely under any scenario, at least in the short run. I think the dollar is going to collapse before the euro. But I think what would be good for Europe is less government spending.
And if this crisis, Peter, excuse me, Peter, we've seen the exact opposite direction in the two currencies, though, as you say that.
Well, not really. I mean, the euro has weakened somewhat against the dollar, but not much. Look, the euro is still at 133. And if you look at the exchange rate between the euro and other currencies, the euro is not actually going down against other currencies. You're just having a flight to gold or a flight to the dollar, as some people perceive it as a safe haven. But it's not that big a flight.
Some people perceive it. What in the world do you perceive it as? What do you think is driving the dollar?
Against the dollar?
Peter, what in the world do you think is driving the dollar then, if it's not a flight to safety?
I think there's a lot of ignorance out there. Like you just mentioned about consumer confidence going up.
There's no accounting for that stuff in any market.
Is because they don't understand how bad things are. And I think a lot of people who are buying the dollar, even professional investors, just don't understand how bad things are in the United States. I think they're worse here than there are in Europe.
Okay, you may think so. Others would disagree with you. They see it entirely the opposite direction. In fact, that the European Union itself may collapse, the euro along with it. There's no such prospect in sight for the dollar or for the United States. Right now, it is Italy, it is the European Union seeking, and the European Central Bank along with the European Council and Commission, looking for $1 trillion to bolster Mario Monti, the new head of the Italian government, for at least the next year and a half.
The underlying problems in Europe are excessive government debt. We've got the same problems here. We're more indebted than Europe. The only difference is we're still printing money. At least the Europeans are threatening not to. That's actually better.
Yeah,
but I think once we have
some help in their constraint, the European
one way or the other.
Go ahead, Peter.
I said once we have a resolution, I think the focus is going to be back on the United States either way. And the fact that we could print money to pretend to pay our debts is not going to be much of a consolation to our creditors when they get paid back in inflated money. So the real currency crisis, the real sovereign debt crisis, is coming to the United States.
All right, Peter Schiff, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.